JJIS stands for Juvenile Justice Intervention Services. We are a diverse group of clinicians that provide a lot of different services, family therapy, individual therapy, family and individual skill building. We have a substance abuse model that we use as well. It's called the 7 Challenges. We have a lot of youth that are struggling with addiction, and so we also provide that service. I am so grateful for our partnership with probation. A lot of our kiddos kind of come into the system and have a mistrust of law enforcement in general. And like I said, there's been a couple cases specifically that I've worked with Officer Kuryllo, and I've seen him kind of go above and beyond to regain the trust of some of these kiddos.
So the partnership between Sacramento County Probation and Stanford Sierra is working phenomenal. Youth that enter the juvenile justice system often have specific requirements to transition out. Some of those requirements include counseling services, which are provided by Sierra Stanford. Risk needs assessments conducted by probation staff. Those that score moderate to high are referred to the JJIS services through Stanford Sierra. Regardless of medical insurance, they can participate, whether they have private insurance, Medi-Cal, or no insurance at all, which is awesome. Second assessments conducted by Stanford Sierra staff to best place them in individual programs. So facilitators, skills trainers, clinicians, and probation and family definitely develop the treatment plan together, which is, I think, a huge part of the JJIS program. We're all on the same page, and we all know what the goals are. They're definitely common goals. We're here to support each other and the family through the probation and mental health needs on both sides of the house. The communication between probation and Stanford is frequent, which I think is key to the program. We have weekly meetings prior to COVID. We conduct CFTs on the phone and in person, do new program referrals as needed. I think the most important part of the program is the communication between the facilitators and clinicians and probation staff, who really can work on our strengths between each other, because we get to know each other on a little bit more of a personal level.
My experience in working at Stanford Sierra Youth and Families, specifically in the Juvenile Justice Program, our collaboration with probation, as Officer Kuryllo had mentioned, is definitely key. There's a couple youth that me and him have shared in the past. 2 of them actually I still have now. But they came into the program really struggling with a lot of mental health stuff, poverty, substance abuse. So I've actually been providing a substance abuse model to them, the 7 Challenges, which is the model that we use. So I've been doing some individual skill building around that. But I think 2 of these kids come to mind because both of them, when coming in, had a huge mistrust of law enforcement. Huge. And Officer Kuryllo was their officer, so just through family meetings and being able to kind of talk through that, I actually, without breaching a lot of confidentiality, I actually was able to contact Officer Kuryllo and mention to him some of the feelings around law enforcement. And he actually took initiative to break down those walls and break down those barriers and connect with the kiddos. And I'm not saying he doesn't do that with probably all the kids, but I'm thinking about my 2 in particular. And I was just so grateful for that, because the next session with both of these kids, actually, the conversation was different around law enforcement, and right now I think is a really challenging time for both sides, right? Law enforcement and folks on the other end of law enforcement, right? And so being able to help these youth and families have a better understanding, more, education around kind of how the system works is something that's been helpful. With that said, the 2 kiddos that I was talking about before, they are on track to graduate this month. And when I think about where we started to where we're at now, it definitely could not have been done without the collaboration.
Yeah, JJIS is important to the probation youth because it gives family and youth a voice. They have support. There's a sense of empowerment for the families that they didn't have before. They can learn and reinforce positive behaviors. Definitely all have the same goal. There's no hidden agendas between probation or the counseling agencies. Everyone is on the same page, working towards that common goal. The relationships between the clinicians and facilitators and probation are super important. We definitely can work off each other's strengths, work around each other's weaknesses, all for that same common goal. gives them also an opportunity to address all barriers with a team in front of them. Some of the barriers aren't specifically mental health related. Sometimes there's physical barriers that we need to come together and overcome, as well as the court-related barriers. We can definitely tailor their program to the specific needs of the family and the youth.